Hello. Just coming on. Do a quick little hi, how are ya? Professional hoarder here. Professor of hoarding. I have 4 of these little miniature like personal pizza boxes. When I have my nieces for overnights, they bring these for their dinner because they're both very picky eaters, and this way it guarantees that they're going to eat dinner while they're here. Wow, I have a really shiny connection, so hopefully my sound is good. Oh, there it goes. I'm like, whoo. But because I've had 2 overnights with them, I have 4 of these boxes. Now, everything is a craft supply until proven otherwise, correct? So I have not thrown these away because I was trying to figure out what did I want to do with them. And I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do like a journal kit out of these. So these boxes are 8 1/8 wide, 8 1/2 high, 2 inches deep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do after this is covered, I'm going to put a strip of cardboard 2 inches from the edge. So it'll run, like right here. And it'll just be a little divider here so that I can put like pieces over on this side to decorate with, like die cuts and stickers and that kind of stuff. I may even partition it out this way so that there's individual little boxes. I haven't really thought that far ahead, but I'm definitely going to have a divider that's going to, it's going to be like, right here so that you can put decorations there. And then on this side is going to be a journal. Obviously, that being a pizza box, anybody that's ever we know these flatten out, right? So that's going to make it easier for me to cover the outside of the box, and then I'll once everything's dried, then I'll fold it all back up into the box itself. I haven't quite figured out though how I want to cover this because I've got 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, but obviously this is bigger than 12 inches. I mean, like even, it's not even bottom is 12. I mean, the top is bigger than 12. The bottom is bigger than 12. And it's bigger than 12 inches wide. So I could even like take 2 matching sheets of 12 by 12 and glue here, and then, it'd be good. So yeah, even having the spine as a separate piece doesn't work because that's from there to the outer flap here is like 13 inches. And from this fold here all the way out to the outer flap is 10 1/2. So it would fit. I could fit one this way, but from here to here is more than 12 inches. So I do have some rolls of wallpaper off over there in my corner that I may like do a base cover with potentially. I could do napkins. I've got some decorative napkins. If I decided to do the napkins, I would gesso this with white first, just to cover up a lot of this writing. Give it a test out, and I may even have to cover this with white paper as well in order for the writing to not show through. But yeah, so that's my plan. I don't really have a theme in mind yet. I could potentially make one of these be my mermaid journal, since I haven't really decided. I had not really decided whether I wanted to do that as a as an altered book or as a made from scratch one. Let's see. I think if I remember right, this was 12 by 18. I mean, I could definitely get the front covered. That might work, actually. To do the front in this fabric, or the lid, and then I can figure out another. I do have other blue fabric or white fabric to do the rest of it. I am getting like the most random calls from like, I don't know who all these people are. And obviously some of this would not have to be covered. Let's see, I don't know where my pen went, so I'll just grab my pencil. It's probably covered under something else. Oops. So like, none of this would have to be covered, right? None of this would have to be covered because it's going to be on the inside of this. And that also means that this and this would not need to be covered because, again, they're going to be, these two flaps are going to be on the inside. This is not going to be visible, and this part won't be visible. So, but it would need to cover this, and all of that. Which for that will be nice because then I just need, this much. None of this is covered. And then on this side, this could be separate from all of this. So, and of course, this is much. I like that idea. I'm rolling with it. Which way do I want these to go? No, I would want it to go this way. I would want it to go that way. So, and as you see, I'm struggling with the flippy flop, around because this is much bigger. The box is much bigger than, what I normally work with. My fabric scissors. I still haven't gotten my my pictures for my 60s journal, which I was originally going to do next and then do my mermaid journal after that. But I haven't gotten my pictures yet for my 60s journal. So I don't want to sit here and just kind of do nothing and wait because, being the professor of hoarding, I can't have all this stuff just sitting around, right? Okay. I'm wondering though if I want to do a yeah. Okay, so again, get my Fabri-Tac out. And I am once again, I have a movie going, and because I'm doing 12 bazillion other things, I will probably have to rewind the movie like 500 times, because I'm never gonna, I won't know what's going on. All I know the crux of the movie because I did read the the description, because it's a movie that I've never heard of, never seen before. It is called When Darkness Falls, and it is about two American hikers hiking through the hills of Scotland, and they meet up with some unscrupulous people in a local tavern. They are bad guys that are cruising across the country, thieving, raping, and said that word, sorry, and just kind of being general bad people. So they cross paths in the bar, and then one of them disappears, leaving the other one to try to find their friend in a country that she doesn't know. And the town that she disappears in, for whatever reason, apparently are not very friendly, which is kind of funny when you think about, it's a tourist town, and yet they don't like tourists. I know I've been to a few tourist towns that, were very unfriendly and were like, would really prefer not to be a tourist town. I'm like, well, so just kind of using my my little rubber spatula there to smooth out the bumps of the Fabri-Tac. I didn't do that on the first one, and I could feel the glue kind of coming through the fabric. Like I felt it, the wetness of the glue on my hand. Fortunately, it's not visible. I mean, if it did seep through, I mean, there's ways to deal with that. But it was just on the flap there, so it would have been like a major issue. But I'm like, oh yeah, squish down those high points so that there's less, not to say that it won't bleed through, but it's less likely to bleed through. Okay. Now comes the tricky part, is figuring this part out. So let's go into the corner here. There's like no room. I'm not used to working with such a big box. go in there. Yeah, have to thinking as we go. Trim up to there on that side. Trim up to there on that side. So let's start with that. And again, we also need to make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do in order to reduce the bulk. So cutting in, cutting out the little angles here. Not easy to do. I think that's how I'm going to work, how I'm going to deal with this piece down here too. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with that corner, but I think that's how I'm going to deal with that. So I'm just going to come in and angle it out. Come in, angle it out. Okay, let's start there. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this little flap up. Yay, my shark has found its way back to the dock. It's running a little behind. It's usually done its morning vacuuming by 10. Sorry, I was pausing to listen. Because it goes at 9. And then it's supposed to go back to the dock at 9:30, go out and finish its vacuuming job, and then be back to the dock by 10. But it gets lost all the time. It's not uncommon, not unheard of, for it to get so lost trying to find its way back to the dock that it actually runs out of battery. It's happened on more than one occasion. It just runs out of juice before it even says, I cannot find my dock. I did pick up a Wi-Fi extender because, it runs off of Wi-Fi. I don't know, if anybody has a robot shark, but it does run off the Wi-Fi. So I'm hoping that the Wi-Fi extender that we bought, once my husband has a chance to hook it all up, and that it'll help. Because I think it just, and I've taught, if you've been watching my channel from the very beginning of its inception, I'm out in the country and our Wi-Fi is spotty at best. And that is because of the location of the cell tower, which is on the backside of a large hill. They call it a mountain. It's not really a mountain, but it's called Badger Mountain. But it's on the opposite side of Badger Mountain than my house is. So my service is just the very, very, very tippy top of the cell tower. So my signal is not always the best as a result of that. So we're hoping that an extender will help that. So coming around these little corners is going to be interesting because they're round and not, not triangular or flat. And I cut that one a little short. Oops, let's get that up in there. And there's also this little whoop, whoop, whoop there that I have to deal with. So let's see. And again, keep in mind this inside is going to be covered with something else. So if my edges here are not super great, which it's not, then it will be covered with whatever I decide to put on the inside of this. Wow, so her friend has already disappeared. So I'm catching a little bit of the movie. Her friend has already disappeared. She has gone to the police department to report her friend missing. And the police are telling her that her friend just ran off with strangers. Abandoned her in a foreign country and ran off with these dudes that they just met in the bar. It's like, wow. Okay. I got to figure out how I'm going to do that little dip there too. Okay. And I've said this before too. Highly recommend the silicone spatula. You can see how easily the silicone glue comes off the silicone spatula. But, if you're going to be working... ouch! Drop my scissors. If you're going to be working in any lengthy capacity with silicone glue, I highly recommend that you invest in a silicone spatula. Not exactly sure what I'm doing here, so just trying to figure out how to round this little corner here, or get around the little corner. Okay. So I want to make sure I don't cover up the little flappy there, because I do want to cut that out. Once this is all dry, I want that little tab to be sticking out. Okay. And I think we're just going to go in here and we're just going to manipulate around. Just like that. Well, that was easier than I was expecting, though. So that's good. really cut that one short. I'm going to take this. I'm going to do like a little whoop. And I'm just going to make a batch. No, it sounds like my shark is back out to finish vacuuming, which means that instead of it taking, when it went out for its 9 o'clock cleaning, it took until 10:30 for it to return to the dock. I hear stuff banging around out in the other room, so I'm assuming since the dogs are outside, right? I'm assuming it's the vacuum. Put some glue over there. Get this pulled up into that corner or that lip. And then I'm going to pause for a second so I can blow my nose as well. Sorry about that. But I'm sure you guys appreciate not hearing it. So at the very beginning of the movie, there was a victim that was escaping. And then they never really showed like what happened with her. I'm assuming they K'd her. Which I'm wondering is, how they're handling things so that there's no escapes. Oh. Ugh. I mean, which we know in real life, that's kind of, what happens in some of that progression, in order to avoid getting, caught. They get more violent, more brazen, whatever. Okay, so let's glue that down a little better. Okay, so that part is glued down. So now when the box is folded up, this will be the cover. And I think I'm going to cut these little flaps off. Yeah, I'm going to cut those little flaps off. Because they're going to be covered. I mean, it's just part of the, the folding of the box. It's not functional for any purpose. So just for security sake of this little fabric, I'm just going to put I'm going to glue that down. But again, this part's going to be covered with other fabrics and stuff. Ooh, wonder if she realizes that she has stumbled across the right people, quote unquote, right people. And then in here, let's see if I can figure out. See if I can get my knife in there. I mean, obviously she realizes that they're, it's the dude from the bar, but I don't know if she realizes it's who kidnapped her friend. I mean, she suspected it because that's what she told the police officer. That she, was concerned about them and that she felt like that. And that was why the police officers were like, or she just ran off with them. Which clearly she didn't, or she'd be with them, right? Okay, so now I have where the line is at. Let's make sure that let's see, I wanted that tab to be out. So let me firm up, wrong word, but make sure that is firmly glued down. Come on, glue, cooperate with me. There we go. There we go. So again, it'll fold down and it'll fold down like that inside the box. It's got the little flappy, it'll open. I like. So far. Okay. Clean up my little fabric scraps. I tell you, cleaning up after my last project, I couldn't believe how much stuff, just stuff. It's kind of fun fabric, huh? Just kind of reaching for what's right in front of me at the moment. Obviously, I can't do that up here because, this, up on the lid, because this being sheer, you're going to see through it. But I was thinking this would be fun to do, just down in here. I just don't know. I'm going to have to do a test. Let me do a test of this because being sheer, obviously it's going to take the Fabri-Tac differently. Okay, well, I thought I had a piece where I could just cut a snip a piece off, but not so much. So this was a curtain shear. I'm not bothering to fold it right now because I have to re-unfold it. Re-unfold it. I have to unfold it again if it's going to work. So let's see. Let me grab just a little piece of cardboard from down here. Just trying to get into my little cardboard box that's down at my feet. It's scraps of like cereal boxes, random various food boxes that will be turning into journal covers over time. So if I squish this down like you're supposed to, does it bleed through? Huh, she taking matters into her own hands. So I would say it doesn't bleed through per se, but it definitely creates a shinier surface. But it could potentially work. But I also have another just had another idea pop into my head. So this is going to be random because I just have something on my desk. On the bottom of the box, I could do cutouts maybe of like different seashells and fish and stuff, or I could even stencil the bottom of the cardboard box like so, So this is just a piece of candy. It's a die cut piece of candy. But again, this is just a sample piece. I'm testing something out, testing out an idea. Oh yeah, she just discovered the girl that was killed at the very beginning of the movie. And then glue this on. Let's see what that looks like. A little bit more bleed through on that one. Part of that is my fault. I didn't really flatten it out because I was being impatient. So I can roll off some of the glue that came through. That could be fun. Put a random sea stuff down under there like it's under the water. You know what I'm saying? Like down here on the bottom and up on the sides. Putting little sea creatures and stuff down there. Before I put the shear down. Ooh. There's definitely some stuff that I'm going to have to cover like, you know, this piece. So yeah, I could do this whole inside, you know, like up the sides, the bottoms. I could even do some stencils down there. Combination of both. I also need to figure out what I'm going to cover this top piece with. Whoops, there went my scissors again. I have blue felt and I have blue fabric. And I have foam. I also have black felt, but I don't think black felt would look good. I think I'm going to do blue felt. This felt will be easy for me to cut around. Like I can glue it down and then cut the edges. Okay, let me find a flap where there's minimal waste. Go here. Get my scissors up off the floor. Toss that over there because that's going to go back into its own little spot. My felt has its own cubby in my craft room. So when I glue it down, and then I can come back in and trim it along all of those edges. Just to make this a little more manageable for myself. I cut that little flappy off. Okay. Start with the flap there. Where did my... Seriously? Is it on the floor? No. I don't know where my other spatula went. Okay. We'll use the big one. This is the reality of my crafting world. I am constantly losing stuff. That's why I have multiples of everything. So that when I lose something, I don't have to like stop everything. That glue totally dried before I even got the felt down. So let's try that again. Didn't really stick on that side either. I think the felt is going to be thick enough. I think the felt will be thick enough that I shouldn't have to worry about spreading it. Okay. We're just going to go a little bit at a time because, again, everything's wanting to dry super fast, way faster than, you know, it normally does. Now, while Fabrifix is an expensive glue, you know, and normally I would be like, use your supplies sparingly. In this case, don't use sparingly. You want good coverage. Found my little spatula. You want really good coverage on your covers. You want to make sure that stuff sticks down well, that your covers don't fall apart, so all aspects of making your covers. You don't want to go, I don't want to overdo it, obviously, but you don't want to be like super chintzy on your glue. And again, because I didn't iron ahead of time, I'm kind of hand ironing as I glue. Now the last little flap. And again, I'm going to have to, obviously I'm going to have to retrim out that little notch there. But if I didn't do it ahead of time, I would not be able to do it at all because I wouldn't be able to find it. I wouldn't know where it was at. So definitely want to make sure I get those edges really good. Now, I'm not going to do anything with this right now. I'm going to let it dry. And like I said, when it's dry, I'll go through and I will trim out all the way around the edges. But I'm going to let this dry. So the cover of my book is going to be 8 1/4 by 6 by 1 3/4 tall. So I also need to figure out my cover. I was contemplating doing a soft cover though. So if I used an Amazon package, obviously I'd have to cut it down a little bit. Where's my roller? So I would need it to be 12, 13 3/4. So there's 12, 13. This would not be tall enough or wide enough. Yeah, I guess in this respect, it's not tall enough so that when I fold it in half, I get a 1 3/4 inch spine. Like so. I would only have a 1 inch spine, and I want it to be bigger than that. So let's see. I may have bigger Amazon bags. Let's see. Does not look like I have bigger Amazon bags, which is a bummer. I guess we'll put that away while I'm over there looking through my storage. Oh, look, found another one. File that where it belongs. I have a whole drawer of Amazon packaging back there. So it looks like this will be old school. Curious. Oh, almost. almost. It is the perfect height, but too long. Bummer. Because I got a bunch of these. I assembled them ahead of time because I was sending out, sending out rubber stamps. Well, I assembled more boxes than I had stamps for. Come on. My glue stuck. Well, I think I'm going to call this done for today while I let this dry and look through that big plastic tote down there for cardboard that I can use to make an actual cover. And rather than this being an altered book, it will be a signature assembled, like old school hand-bound journal. So thanks for tuning in for this little part of it, and hit that notification bell so you'll know when my videos are dropping, and we will talk to you later. Bye.